For context, this guy joined my D&D group and didn't stop pestering me since. I blocked him everywhere but Discord. Last night, I let my computer download and update some stuff, so my activity was sent as idle. And this is what I woke up to. Hey, sweetheart. I'm so sorry I didn't contact you. I was in a pretty bad place the last days, because your WhatsApp seems to be broken, lovely. I missed you. And your beautiful voice so much, sweetie. I gotta say, I was wrong about you females in D&D. It was so fun playing with you and seeing your pretty face. You know, as a gentleman, I like my females natural. All that makeup was for your character, but please don't put any makeup on next time. And don't make those extreme faces. It puts ugly wrinkles in your skin. I'm thinking about this right now, and I want you to know how important it is for you to take care of your skin. You're 22, and have only half a year left of your prime time. Your fertility will drop, as well as your beauty, so you have to hurry up and stop ignoring me. I don't care about your degree as I pull in a 6-figure salary easily, and I'm awaiting another promotion. You will have an easy life with me, 'cause you won't have to work. That's basically every female's dream, and I hand you that opportunity on a silver plate. Also, you will be liberated from all the bad influence of chads around you in your workplace, wanting you to ride the carousel. You already lowered your market value by falling into the trap of a relationship with your boyfriend. There's absolutely no fucking way you are compatible. And as a high-value man, I have a good income. I'm caring and passionate. I'm alpha enough to lead you back to your destined path and lead you safely through your life, etc. I need to marry someone with only a little less value to keep my social class. So no more makeup, no more silly piercings, and no more talking to soy boys. I order you to move to my place as soon as possible so I can enjoy your peak beauty for as long as it lasts. Remember, it's over in a few months, and you have deprived me of love and passion for long enough. I want to see your stomach swell with my seed as long as you still can. Or else, I will have to choose another female with higher fertility and more market value. I'm only willing to settle for you because of your stunning beauty has been permanently imprinted into my brain. I can see you're online. Answer me now. Now! Stop ignoring me! You're just an entitled, ugly bitch that thinks she's better than everyone! You lead on the good, nice men, and then shatter their entire lives just to feed to the superiority complex they get from fucking feminism. Your feminists just ruin good men's lives for fun. You ruin the good society we used to have. Some chads deserve to be treated like crap from Stacy's, but I'm not a chad, and I fell in love with you because I could see your good genetics even under all that makeup, and you didn't immediately insult me after I complimented you. But not all men deserve to be treated like this. But y'all females just can't appreciate the nice things we try to do for you and run to chads with bad genetics only because he is 6 feet and then end up as a single mom. I know I'm not 6'4" with chiseled abs and a jawline that's clearly photoshopped. I only complimented you and didn't ask for nude once. And I promised you to take care of it. And I start with our communication. And I see you're online, and I absolutely disapprove of you still ignoring me. I'll need to discipline that stubbornness and feminism out of you. But I am generous enough to let you play D&D again and buy 2 houseplants as a reward as your stomach is growing from my seed. Don't test my patience. Remember your market value. This is your only chance of getting an alpha. What the fuck did I just read? My name is Jacob Crow, and welcome to the Crow's Perch. From atop my perch, centered on a lamppost near your favorite local game store, I dive alongside my murder of crows, not into stories of glory or valor, but of horror and despair. Today's story is a viewer-submitted story by an Italian crow who goes by Nem, who tells of a terrible tale of a DM who attempts to ruin their relationship with their fiancée over a game of D&D. So without further ado, let's gather up a murder and dive right into this story. Hello guys, gals, and non-binary pals alike. Here's the story of how my fiancé's best friend managed to destroy my favorite character, his campaign, and our friendship, all with one amazing move. I apologize in advance for my various mistakes. It's my first post, and I am not Anglophonic. First act. A quite hopeful premise. My fiancé's best friend, let's call him Paladin from now on, joined our campaign. It's a homebrew-based campaign that has been going on for around 3 years. I wasn't extremely happy about it, because Paladin was a friend of mine, but he is a notorious power player, while our playstyle is way more chilled. But I like the dude in real life, so whatever. The more the merrier, right? Nope, definitely wrong. He showed basically all that guy behaviors, including trying to derail the campaign, killing NPCs because of his god complex, and making borderline homophobic statements. Things like, "Wait, the shopkeeper has a boyfriend? Do clients know that they're buying stuff from a gay dude?" Which was weird, because we are all part of the LGBT+ community, including him, and the setting was super gay-friendly. We all kinda assumed it was just how he liked to play, and ignored him. Paladin never made an actual paladin, but his characters were all very paladin-like, the meme-type paladins. All lawful stupid, all obsessed with their deity, and all on a mission to destroy evil. And yes, characters. The plural is needed, because he kept dying trying to do stupid stuff, like throwing himself from a clock tower, even after the DM told him that it was not a good idea, justifying it with, "But I am a tabaxi! My cat powers will save me!" Spoilers ahead. They did in fact not save him. In this campaign, I was playing a sorcerer. I love homebrew stuff, but I can't really balance it, so I just take canon things and reflavor them. For example, this character was a half-dragon, literally. His mom was an actual shape-shifting dragon. His dad was a very lucky bard. Yeah, cheesy, I know. But I loved my precious sunshine. To make it balanced, I took the Dragonborn stats and simply changed the mood of it, without modifying anything else. My character was called Thelin. Thel for family and friends. He was naive, attracted to shiny objects, and had some silly quirks, like collecting copper coins, and a passion for getting tanned, cause he thought he was cold-blooded like a reptile. He had no idea how humans should act in human situations, but was as polite as he could be with everyone and anyone. The other players liked him a lot, including Paladin. He liked him so much that he asked me if he could use Thel in his campaign as an NPC. I was honestly honored. All my characters are close to my heart, but Thel had a special place. So I gladly gave Paladin my sheet, happy that people were enjoying my ideas. He looked at it frowning. "Can I make a couple of changes to it? I don't think it would fit my setting." It didn't bother me. His campaign, his rules. He never mentioned it after that, so I assumed that things went smoothly. Our campaign in the meantime was going on relatively well, with only one small new red flag from his side. We were facing the final big bad evil guy, and he started shouting at me. "Why don't you start flying already?" I stared at him. Me. What? Paladin. "Why aren't you flying? You are a half-dragon. You can fly." Me. "No, I can't." "Man, you have my character sheet. Check it out. I can't fly." Paladin. "That's dumb. Thel's mother was a dragon. Of course he can fly. He can shapeshift into a dragon and fly." The other players were looking at me, and then the DM, and then my fiancé, all perplexed. The DM calmly confirms that no, Thel couldn't fly. and couldn't turn into a dragon. Paladin. Well, that's just stupid. I was confused and annoyed. I made it very clear to him multiple times that Thel's dragon side was a role-playing thing, more than an actual combat fighting boost, because that's what I created him as, and I liked him as such. So I just replied, "Meh, I think that's still cool," and changed the subject with the help of the other players. I thought nothing of it afterwards, and we ended up winning the battle. Thel asked to receive his reward in copper coins and brought them back to his mom, the friendly neighborhood copper dragon. So at least someone in this story had his happy ending. Now, ready for the disaster? Let's go. But before we carry on into part 2, let's look at part 1 real quick. Paladin right now seems like a lot. Ranging from the innocent, like him yeeting his tabaxi character off of a clock tower, to the not so innocent, like a character making vaguely homophobic statements in a game where you're playing with mostly LGBT players. At the very least, it's not a good look. But who knows? There's plenty of time for Paladin to make this worse, so let's find out how bad it gets in part 2. Second act. A very stupid decision. After the end of our campaign, we decided to take a break, cause our forever DM needed some time for herself. A month passed by, and Paladin, out of the blue, asked me if in the meantime, I wanted to join his campaign. My fiancé was busy with work and couldn't join, so I thought it could be a good idea to get to know Paladin better. He was, after all, the love of my life's best friend. Red flags start to come up during character creation. I wanted to make a monk. Nope, monks do not exist in his world. Okay, then what about a druid? Nope, druids are weak. We only use them for NPCs. What about a fighter? Too basic. If you want to fight, why don't you just make a barbarian? No fighters? What? Okay, what the flock? How do people fight then? It's basic for a reason. Are we just implying that everybody who wants to duke it out has to fly themselves into a rage? Is there no such thing as military tactics in this world? Banning monks, okay, fine. Banning druids, weird reason, but fine. But banning fighters? I'm sorry, this is where I draw the line. Anyway, let's get back to it. A cleric. Yes, clerics were allowed, but there was only one deity in this world. A lawful, stupid one. Last attempt. A warlock. Amazingly, that was considered fine. So I created a warlock, Pact of the Tome, that was absolutely convinced that he was a wizard. The good old creepy,
"The price for this kind of knowledge will be huge,"
of the patron, against my character's millennial-style naive, "oh yeah, I know how college debts work," mentality. The DM found it cute, but he asked me to please make sure that I had a strong, fighting-focused build, because his combats were, allegedly, extremely hard. As you probably already guessed, I prefer the role-playing aspect of the game, but there's nothing wrong with trying out different things, so I was excited and ready. The day of the game, I arrived on time at the location, this adorable little comic shop, but I couldn't see Paladin anywhere. So I asked the owner, and she told me that he was probably late, as usual, and that his players were already there, waiting at the corner table. I walked towards them, waving, and they all immediately stopped talking. They stopped smiling. They appeared pissed off. I started to feel uncomfortable. At that time, I didn't know them, nor their characters. But for the sake of simplicity, I'll just use their classes' names from now on. There were 4 of them: Rogue, Wizard, Barbarian, and Ranger. Rogue: "You must be OP. Me: "Yes, nice to meet you. I'm Wizard. Yeah, we know. You created Thelonious." It took me a couple of seconds for the information to click, cause I'm dumb. Me: "Oh, yes, Thel. He was called Thelin in my campaign." The name change made perfect sense, and yet it worried me. It worried me because all of Paladin's PC's names ended up with an Onius. It was his signature thing, so why using it for a random NPC? Can you hear it already, Reddit? Can you hear the drums of the dreadful DMPC getting close? Because I, as naive as my characters, didn't. Wizard: "He is called Thelonious here. We have a couple of questions about him." I took a chair and sat down, kinda weirded out. Me: "Sure, shoot." Rogue: "What's his weakness?" I was baffled. Is what? Come again? Me. I guess he was scared of swimming in my campaign. So, water, I think? They looked at each other. Rogue. Okay, and where does his mother live? Me, increasingly worried. In my campaign, she used to live in the mountains near a small town. But I don't know where... Wizard. How do we kill her? Me. What? Why do you want to kill Thel's mother? I chuckled. Wizard. Spoilers. But seriously, how do we kill her? Barbarian got tired of the interrogation and just cut it off, introducing himself and his character. So did Ranger, a very shy but sweet girl. And after some hesitation, so did the others. They asked me about my current character, and I told them about him. Rogue eventually started to smile again. He sounds way better than Thel. I just smiled at him back and went for a diplomatic, they're different. I am an extroverted woman, and I generally like to get along with people. So the last thing I wanted to do was start arguing with this random person to defend the honor of a made-up character. They indeed are, laughed Wizard. I started to feel that something was wrong again, but luckily, or unluckily, Paladin arrived in that moment, and I couldn't investigate further. We all got ready. He checked out my sheet, approved it, and then we started to play. And oh boy, I knew he was a new DM, but I wasn't ready for this anyway. It was bad. The plot was basically a book storyline, where the characters were nothing but background things that sometimes could do very specific stuff. No liberty whatsoever. The players tried multiple times to do things, but any time that they suggested doing something that wasn't conforming to Paladin's idea of how the story was going, he just told them, nah, you can't do that. No rolls. Nothing. Simply absolute failure. This included very basic things, like how Ranger was stopped from trying to find somewhere to sleep in a generic fantasy town, and Paladin wasn't even kind about it. Ranger, you know that you're not an inns hunter, right? I didn't think that I'd have to explain to you the difference. Ranger was incredibly embarrassed, and I felt bad for her. I am not going to waste our time with all the annoying stuff that happened that afternoon, but I have to share this marvelous conversation. The quest giver for this generic quest was this generic shopkeeper. Generic shopkeeper. Go to the woods and bring me back my daughter that was kidnapped by goblins. Wizard. Goblins. Did you see them? Generic shopkeeper. No. Wizard. How do you know they were goblins then? Generic shopkeeper. They were goblins. They went to the woods with my daughter. Wizard. So someone else saw them? Paladin stopped roleplaying with an eye roll and then started to shout. Paladin. Why do you care? Just take the quest already. Do you want it or not? You can say no and not play this session. I don't give a shit. Everyone at the table sheepishly confirmed that they wanted to play. I was flat out mad at this point. Paladin. Okay, fine. Then you go into the woods. You are in the woods. What do you do? I commented sarcastically something about railroading, but Paladin ignored me. The session ended with a super easy combat with the goblins in the woods that left us basically unharmed. And for the record, we found the daughter of the shopkeeper dead and naked. Yikes. I thanked the group and left. I was convinced to not play with Paladin as a DM ever again. But, long story short, my fiancé asked me to give it a second try. It is true that you can't really judge an entire campaign after only one session, so I relented. Maybe it was just a bad day. This was my own very stupid decision. This is bad. Really, really bad. The complete and wholesale removal of player agency for a plot that isn't even going anywhere. But what irks me the most is what the Paladin implied happened to the shopkeeper's daughter, which seems to be some sort of karmic retribution for his players being mean to him and not biting his plot hook. Just yikes, dude. Just yikes. We're only halfway through, and I already want to throw this man in the dumpster. So let's continue to part 3. Third act. My DMPC. The second session was slightly less unbearable. Paladin left us some free time to roleplay, and I was happy that I could finally see Rogue shining. They are an excellent roleplayer, and I was almost enjoying myself. Then the Paladin interrupted Barbarian mid-sentence.
You hear a roar. The inn's walls start shaking. Everyone runs outside immediately. What do you do?
The wizard sighed. We go outside. Paladin.
Okay, you are now outside, and you see a well-known figure slowly descending from the sky. All the people in the town square drop on their knees.
At this point, the Paladin looks at me. I just stare back at him, brain blank. He starts describing what we see. This figure was a winged humanoid with shining silver armor, shining silver hair, and shining silver skin. He is a man, majestic and beautiful, with huge pecs and a perfect face. The party bowed down to him. My character, politely confused, imitates them. The man graciously tells us all to stand up, with his majestic voice. Paladin goes into great detail to describe how my character feels very attracted to him, because he looks like the perfect man, and would love to be with him. Strong jaw, massive muscles, and an incredibly big, you get the picture. I was not sure how to take this. I'm a bisexual woman in real life, but I told the Paladin that my warlock was a straight married dude. Oh well. At the end of the day, it didn't really matter that much. So I decided to roll with it. I guessed that he could be a bi dude in an open relationship. Why not? I played my character as being fascinated with the dude, and asked Rogue who that mysterious man was. Rogue looked at me, pure depression in their eyes. He is Lord Thelonious. I just went, he is who? Paladin smiled.
Yeah, he's Thel, your character.
He is Thel? Even if I didn't describe to you how Thel looked in my campaign, you can probably guess that he wasn't like this. He was a short, average-looking, gingerish twink. Wow, you really changed him, I laughed. I was surprised, but not mad or anything. I just felt that it was a little weird that my awkward character got turned into this super, stereotypical mighty warrior. Paladin didn't like my words, nor my laugh.
I only changed what I did to improve him as a character. The rest is still the same. Don't you like him?
The others were now looking at me, waiting for my reply. I decided to be honest. I don't think that you can really, improve someone's character, but it is not my character anymore. It's yours. You asked me if you could use it and change it, and I said yes. So it is your character now. Do with it whatever you want. My opinion doesn't really matter. I don't think that these are the exact words that I used, but they are close enough. Paladin insisted, almost shocked.
But you really think that he was better before?
I wanted to reply that I never even talked with this Thelonious yet. How could I give him a fair judgment? But Rogue rolled a higher initiative.
Wait, you changed him? He's not her character?
Paladin quickly denied it.
He is her character. I just fixed a couple things.
At this point, Wizard ignored him and just asked me, how many attacks does your character have each turn? Me. Thel? He was a sorcerer, so... Wizard. He was a multi-class, right? Me. No. Wizard. Thelonious here is a sorcerer multi-class as a rogue and a fighter. And only there, it hit me. Me. Yeah, this is not what I created. Paladin's face started to get red.
He is your character!
Me. The only thing that they have in common is that they are both half-dragons at this point. Ranger. Your Thel was a lord? Me. Nope. Rogue.
Well, here he is, the son of a king and with his dragon slave. The dragon that he uses to destroy whoever disobeys him.
I looked at Paladin, with an asshole-ish grin on my face. Now I could definitely start to see why the players were mad at me, before even getting to know me. They thought that I was the one who made up this monstrosity of a DMPC. Me, a true shit till the end. Thelen's mom loved to bake pies for the nearby townsfolk. Rogue just started to laugh hysterically.
Was Thelen able to hypnotize women with his dragon charisma to force them to sleep with him?
Wow, just Wow. Me. I would say no. He was an awkward gay dude waiting to find his one and true love. A silly subplot in our campaign was that Thel eventually found love with a knight that saved him from a tower, where an evil princess kidnapped him. I know. Cheesy. Ranger was speechless. Barbarian was clearly silently angry. Wizard, what the flock, man? You told us that your friends were all fine with him. At this point, I have to tell you a little bit of background that I found out about later. This group is mainly composed of newish players. They did not like Thelonious at all, cause he kept being used as a derailing deus ex machina that would just appear and save the day randomly. Paladin assured them that my group, a group of veterans, loved this character and they were all fine with him. Ergo, his players, the newbies, had to be fine with him too. So these poor souls had to endure Lord Thelonious, the mighty, basically a dragon DMPC, for all of their sessions. Paladin was livid. With me.
Why are you laughing? It's your fault!
For what?
Your stupid character destroyed my campaign!
And he just left the table. He took his phone and stormed off. He probably wanted us to run after him because he left all of his belongings, including his jacket. But we didn't. We simply remained silent while he kept on coming back to the shop to shout at the door until the owner calmly informed him that she was going to call the police on him if he kept scaring her customers. He apologized and left for good. I took all of his stuff and told the owner that I knew where he lived so I could drop them off at his house later. She obviously didn't care, as long as they were gone from her table. Final act. The trash takes itself out. In the following days, he decided to ignore both me and my Aasimar. I, the always so silly idiot, didn't really talk with my fiancée about the whole story. I must admit that I kinda felt guilty, because I knew that I'm an adult and that I should have handled the situation differently. Plus, she was super busy with her work, and I didn't want to make her worried about trivial matters. I just told her that the session went poorly, and that the paladin was mad at me. And we were both kinda in the wrong. She knows I can be a wannabe smartass sometimes, and how this can irritate people. So she brushed it off, telling me to deal with it, as I thought it would be more suitable that if I needed her help to simply ask her. I wrote him a message saying, "Hi, can we talk about what happened? I'm sorry about my behavior, it wasn't my intention to upset you." No replies. Something like a week after the session, my fiancée called me during lunch break, which was weird because she never calls. I got really scared for a moment that something really bad happened, even more when I realized that she was furious. After calling me an a-hole, she calmly, kinda like Dumbledore asked calmly to Harry if he put his name in the goblet in the 4th movie, explained to me the situation. Paladin called her, and he told her that I got mad with him because I'm jealous of their relationship, that I got mad about his DMPC because I hate all men, and that I organized all this elaborate plan so that he and her would stop talking just because
I hate him because I'm such a good man.
That I am a
feminist bitch that can't handle what real masculinity should be and how a real man should act.
That I called him rude and stupid. For the record, unless he could read my mind during that terrible first session, this is also not true. And he then said that I created Thel so that he would copy him, so that his party would leave him. When she was done telling me his side of the story, she asked for my side. She told me that it was hard for her to believe these accusations were true, because I have the long-term organization skills of a squirrel, and because I'm simply not like this at all. But that at the same time, she could also believe that bit where the paladin told her that I made fun of him, a new DM with his D&D group, hence where the a-hole was coming from. I am so glad to have her in my life, in all honesty, but let's not change subject. I told her what I'm telling you. She, as probably you guys, did not laugh at the story, but she was so pissed that he told her these lies. They had a screaming match online that evening. Then, one in person. Then Paladin told her that she could choose between me and him. What a child. Not that I am so much better in writing this story here, but still. At the end, they made up and are now still friends, but not good ones anymore, because she now can't really trust what he tells her anymore completely. She still hasn't decided if Paladin lied to her willingly to make her break up with me, because he doesn't like me or something. Fair enough. Or if he really believed that those things are true. If you ask me, if the choice is between him being a manipulative liar or a delusional sad little man, it doesn't really matter which one it is. They still hang out, but he completely cut me off from his life. I guess that it could become a problem on the long run, but for the moment I'm just glad that I won't be dealing with both his tantrums and his DMPCs anymore. Well, that's it for this story. Maybe next time I can share more of his in-game tantrums. Like the time when he got mad that my asexual Warforged didn't let his character touch her non-existing titties. TLDR, my fiance's best friend, that guy TM, takes my PC for using him in his own campaign and turns him into an unbearable DMPC. His party gets mad, he blames me for the failure, and tries to break me and my fiance's engagement up. I'm going to talk directly to the OP with this. You need to talk to your fiancé right now. This guy. Holy hell, this is telling of the kind of person he is at heart. I get that he's her friend, and has been for a long time, but what the actual flock is this tiptoeing she's doing to avoid the fact that he's openly sexually harassing, and in the case of your Warforged, assaulting their characters? Dude's a goddamn creep. Even the language he's using reminds me of the kind of stuff you'd see on r/incel. Unless this guy does a complete 180, I don't see how he won't continue to be a wedge, not just in your future game prospects, but also your relationship. This man needs to be as far away from a D&D table as humanly possible. I swear, this has to be up there with some of the worst players I've ever seen in a story. I'm talking Craig, Grimy, you name it. This guy is giving both of them a run for their money. As infuriating as this ending was, thank you for sharing your story, and I sincerely hope that things get better. But at the very least, if you could post more of these stories making fun of this guy, I would appreciate that. Thank you for tuning in to today's stories. And if you enjoyed this story, then why don't you leave a like on the video, and consider subscribing to the channel, as we attempt to reduce our collective blood pressure with Art of the Week. Art of the Week! You may recall earlier this month I announced an art event where I challenged artists to take their worst DM advice and turn it into a piece of art, with the winner voted on by your peers on the Discord. So, without further ado, the winner of the Bad DM Advice Art Challenge goes to DM Tip 3620. Send in your self-insert Ultra Chad DMPC to steal all of the glory and spotlight from your players. Don't worry, adventurers. The real heroes got this covered. You gotta be kidding me. This again? Ka!
To be honest, I don't care if the arrows kill us. I just want to hit him in the head.
Thank you to Starlight Archer for your incredible submission. And I'd like to thank everyone else who submitted their art for the contest, like our runner-up, Mordecai95, the Mothman, and Duffbone. You guys all did an amazing job, and I can't wait for the next event in May. And once again, a special thank you to my patrons, like Novatonix, Shepdog, and Reuven Gritters.
As I am pondering my orb, I see in the distance the counts of Quills, like Critical Kunic, Evix, King Drazil, Christian Pipp, Cosmosis, Kooky Spooks, Rikus, Vincent, Haley Thompson, Zero Fang, and Netscape Navigator.
You ever notice how counts are higher on nobility, and yet barons pay more? What's up with that? Like Chunky Salsa, Techblog, Kurestor, Jake Sine, AModestPastry, Jester King, Gintahl, Misfit, Gibber-Woods, Wormy, MulQueeny, Den of the Drake, McYeetly, and Anja.
Have you heard of the Dukes of Feathers? Like Jared Zemlin, Staniel Das Boot, Henna, General Constantine Chase, Blues Otter, HappyRex, Dark Salty 96, and Acroth. Goodbye. And with all of that out of the way, I will see you next time, as the crow flies.